Those present upon roll call were John Carniff, Rodney Fischler, Mike Steiner, Rose Trouch, Linda Smirchna. Constituents from the town were also present. Postings were verified as being posted at the court, town hall, rural fire station, and the email list was notified. Motion to approve July minutes by Fischler, second by Steiner, all yes, motion carried. Steiner made a motion to approve the treasurer's report, second by Fischler, all yes, motion carried. Country on the river, sheriff, no traffic issues, no outside issues, inside was controlled. Cell towers, both U.S. Cell and Verizon, canceled on Friday before the event. Utopia was not used as an exit, but would like to keep as an option in future years. Shuttle need minor tweaking. Donation to town by Country on the River. Request to drop off campers on Tuesday for 2014 event with no camping until Wednesday. Hospital utility easement, vacate, relocate document, road, MOU, application for utility permit, letter from hospital concerning above issues. We'll see that hospital receives a utility permit and road permit application to complete and return to town. Addison Sand Company, fugitive dust control plan, stormwater plan, spill plan have been updated and necessary DNR permits issued. Motion to approve the plans by Steiner, second by Carniff. Roll call vote, Steiner yes, Fischler no, Carniff yes. Rodney Fischler objected to no public input and wants on public record. Mike Steiner requested Rodney to abstain from voting on matter as not an objective vote. DNR has approved the plans. PSC has time to correct any violations that may surface but may continue to work. Supply and demand for commodity of raw sand, water for controlling dust will be pumped from the river. No permit is required. We'll use water basins after rains. We'll have some poly tanks filled to use. Daily log of weather, precipitation, etc. will be gathered on site. PSC can begin mining. Motion to same by Steiner, second by Carniff. Roll call vote. Steiner yes, Fischler no, Carniff yes. Nate Lindsay Chakas, CSM. Looks in order. Motion to approve pending county decision by Steiner, second by Fischler, all yes, motion carried. Peterson Friedenlund, CSM. Motion to approve by Steiner, second by Fischler, all yes, motion carried. Operator's license, Deanne Garvey Tubert. Motion to approve by Fischler, second by Steiner, all yes, motion carried. Dan Julie Wachter, fireworks permit. Motion to issue continuous permit by Fischler, second by Steiner, all yes, motion carried. FEMA flood application. FEMA will cover 75%, 12.5% by state, 12.5% by town. Road only or other items covered. Private property is not covered. Rodney Boardman fence, purchased home at end of Seymour Drive, wants to construct a chain link fence 4 feet high. Motion to approve by Steiner, second by Fischler, all yes, motion carried. Seymour Drive, several trucks turn on, then need to back up. Order no through traffic sign. Motion by Steiner to approve bills, second by Fischler, all yes, motion carried. Arnie Still requested floor. There was no asking people for their concerns on mining. Public hearing was held and people spoke, some for, some against. Gail Benniker requested floor. Majority did not speak. They were in favor of town board opinion. Levon Clanton requested floor. Some members do not speak loudly enough. Motion by Fischler to adjourn, second by Steiner, motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 8:23 p.m.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll second.
Motion made second. Approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss ATV, UTV trails with interested citizens. Judy, you want to comment? You probably know more about it.
Well, we started an ATV, UTV route in Grant County. We have approximately 70 miles of roads that we can ride through Millville, Wyalusing, Patch Grove, and Mount Hope Townships, and the village of Mount Hope, and the village of Patch Grove, and the village of Bagley. It was brought to my attention by Dave that if Bridgeport is interested and wants to go forward with trying to get some routes through here, maybe if we combine together, we could get the state to let us come across the bridge, and then the people from here could connect to us, and we could get up here for gas, because that's our one of our big downfalls over there is we don't have a lot of gas stations to drive to, because we can't get into very many cities. And most of the villages in Grant County have no gas stations. So that's why we're here, to see if there's any interest in it. And I do have the information on how we did it anyway, through Grant County with the ordinances and going through the DNR and the Highway Commission and what we needed to do. So that's, anything else, Dave?
No, we just went to the town board first and they approved, and their roads to the county road, you had to go to the county board. They approved for everything, so, well, they did approve everything. It does involve some signage. There's regulations, you can't horse around on them. You stay in your lane of traffic, and there's a mile per hour. And I don't know what else to say.
Basically, Dave, it's similar to running a vehicle of any type, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Drinking and driving on it,
Yeah.
that's a law.
Yeah.
Speeding,
Yeah. You
wherever it
can't.
is. Restrictive is to,
You gotta license them now anyway.
Right,
Whether you,
right.
no matter what. You gotta show proof of insurance, just like if they pull you over there, just like in a vehicle.
do you have a lot of hassle getting on to 18 or going to 60
No,
on
they
60?
haven't let us ride 18. We haven't really they let us cross it.
Cross
There's
it,
no
yeah.
hassle at all crossing it. We cross it in a few places. The county was real good to us. They give us C down here. From Millville, we can ride clear from Millville, above Millville actually, all the way to C. We can cross 18. Go up toward the park. The dewdrop's available. You can ride on into Bagley, cut down the side road, or you can cut back to where, what's the one, P?
A and P.
P, we got P into Bagley. You come out of Patch Grove, like Patch Grove West. They didn't give us P out by the school there, but we come out the side road until you hit Morgan Road, come out Patch Grove West, and then we can ride it over to wherever. Get to the dewdrop, or you can get to Bagley. Been no hassle. They give us no hassle, and there's been no hassle. I don't think there's been nothing that's.
Who actually passed it? Was it Wyalusing Township or was it
The township.
board?
The township passed it. Every township, we went to the townships. I went to Millville. Every township passed it. I mean, warmingly. They were all wanting it, really. And then Judy and them went to the county board. And we had some roads picked out that would help us connect road to road. And they approved every road we asked for. They didn't give us one little section of X that goes from like down around Bagley, you know where the train and the tracks and the wall come together,
Right.
past the beach there. They wouldn't give us that little section, but the county cop rode with the county board, and he said, I see no problem with any of this. So
Similar running to the same as a snowmobile trails?
no, they want
idea?
us to run the roads.
Okay, all right, to be able to be on a hard surface?
Yep, hard surface or gravel surface, either one.
We're routes only, we use no private property.
Okay,
Yeah.
hardest one's gonna be trying to get across that bridge, right?
Well, that's an objective that would, I thought, maybe we had enough clout on both sides, because we're real close to it down there.
Right.
And depending on what you guys decide over here, I don't know. But there is room, there's 8 foot on each side. But I don't know, we haven't really contacted the state either yet.
Is your, okay.
I was just wondering if the county here, do they have any ordinance?
Well, they opened
So-
K, I know the county opened K,
Yeah.
up by, you can ride from Cabersburg there, just above there, clear up to the Ambro. That's all, and that was just a matter of going to a meeting, and they opened that's open to everything, that's golf carts, everything. So I know they did open that road, I don't know.
I think there's one in Wazeeka too, in the village of Wazeeka, Back Street, they open that up. BTU route.
The village of Bloomington wants it real bad, and Bloomington Township hasn't conceded yet to open it, but So I don't know what's gonna happen. But most of them are,
How's the insurance?
They got it.
You've got your own insurance,
we
right then?
carry our insurance, it's no different than anything else. We carry our insurance
Right.
on our machines, and if there's an accident, if you
Right.
hit me, it's your fault, and I hit you, I guess it's my fault, just like
Okay,
just
okay.
like a vehicle or anything
Yeah.
else, you know.
But you have to follow the speed, right? If you're
Yeah, you
55,
got,
you gotta
yeah, yep, everything,
Right.
it's just like anything else, you know, I mean, just like your vehicle, or, they don't want slow-moving vehicles, the DNR doesn't want a slow-moving vehicle on the back of them.
Right.
And he said, because he said, them are 25 and under, and he said, I can arrest you, he said, I'll probably make more arrests for over 25 than, you know,
under.
than under, so, he went to a couple meetings, we had the Marty Stone from Fenimore came to a couple of our meetings, and he sat right beside me in one meeting, he said, you guys are going about this the right way, he said, something should have been done before, brother. You get north of here, and you get to Black River Falls and on up to there ain't a road you can't ride. I mean, it's just, and Lafayette County's wide open, I mean, I don't know how many people go down there to ride, but they ride, they have some private property down there too, I think they ride, but,
They have trails, yes.
Yeah.
The Cheese Trail and
You
then
think the DOT
Spur off.
Something with this, being on 18, the DOT would have something to.
you know, and that's a state highway, like I say, we don't have permission to ride that. They did give us permission to cross it, but to get on the highway here and go to Prairie, no.
Wait,
That's a
to
no.
ride any state highway, we have to get permission from the state DOT.
DOT.
Now, we
Yeah.
have not pursued that very strongly yet. To ride county roads, we have to get permission from the highway committee and the county board. To ride township roads, you have to get permission from the town boards. You guys could approve any or all of your township roads you have, but you can approve county roads and state roads.
Bridgeport doesn't have any county roads. We're probably the only township in
It doesn't.
Crawford that doesn't have a county road.
Well, then you wouldn't need to go to your county. The unfortunate part, then it's harder to get to you because we have to try to get the state to agree.
Well, they let snowmobiles right in the gutters in
Yes, they do.
18,
Yes, they do.
so why wouldn't they let the,
You know, Marty Stone asked me at a meeting, he said, do you think this is gonna be a big outflux of riders? And I just said, I said, you think somebody's gonna come from Milwaukee to unload the machine in Mount Hope and ride to Patch Grove, or, you know, he said, no. I mean, I live out on Camel Ridge and I haven't seen, I'll bet I haven't seen, we've had it for, well, a year ago we pursued it, we just got the signs made and going this spring, but I haven't seen two strangers. It's mostly local people that, if I wanna go to your house or you wanna come to mine, that's basically what it amounts to.
You don't like riding horses anymore.
No. Yeah.
Too hard to
Well, I haven't
feed.
rode one for a long time.
Right.
I have a question, do these vehicles have to have turn signals and things?
They have to be equipped with a headlight and a taillight.
And brake lights.
Yeah, brake lights.
You have to have a horn available like you do in your boat, so an air horn works. And in the state of Wisconsin, hand signals are still legal. So therefore, we don't have to have turn signals. A lot of your new ones coming out do have turn signals on them.
I put them on my Ranger,
I
I
think
put
they're just
turning
getting
signals
ready.
on it, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they'll come,
Mhm.
you know, that'll be standard, but I don't know.
But you have to have your seatbelts, you have to wear seatbelts.
Helmets,
If you're
kids,
under 18, you have to have a helmet
Helmet.
on. If you're under 16, you cannot drive on the roads, unlike trails. Trails will let 12 and 14-year-olds, if they've had safety class, drive ATVs on trails. But on routes, you have to be 16 and have a driver's license, just like you do in a car. Everybody has to wear their seatbelt, that's a state law. There again, you can't be drunk and drive any more than you can be drunk and drive in your car. The only difference is there, and I think it was an oversight of the DNR, and I'm pretty sure it'll change. The only difference is that if I'm driving and Dave's my passenger, he can have an open intoxicant. In a car, you can't do that. But on the ATVs, the UTVs, I think it was an oversight. Because
Yeah.
Well, I
they
think-
thought you were putting them on the road.
I think that was passed for the up north because of the recreation part of it. I shouldn't even have said that because I don't know, but I talked to a guy that rode up there, the cops stopped them and he said they were sipping a beer. Actually, they stopped on the trail. It was like 4 couples of them went up there riding. The DNR pulled up to him and he said, "Are you guys drinking?" And they had readily admitted it. He said, "Yeah, oh yeah, we're drinking." He said, "Don't make me stop you again today."
Yeah. So I think
So,
when the new
you know,
laws
it's-
come out, it will change. But the laws the reason we started it basically is because this new book came out that included UTVs, which were never included in ATV laws, and they went effective July 1st, 2012, which in the past, there was nothing written down. So it was a gray area whether I could ride my machine on a road or not. There was not a law written against it. There wasn't a law written for it. So if your police officer and your DNR chose not to stop you that day, then you're okay. If they chose to stop you, you might get a ticket. Well, they changed the rules after they had that big pilot program in Wisconsin that opened up a lot of these counties for UTVs. And now, if it's not a route or a trail, it's illegal to put them on there. And a lot of people use them for farming, and those laws have changed too. It used to be before, you could throw a pair of fencing pliers in and tell them you were fencing, I'm farming, I'm okay, and you could go wherever you wanted. Now you have to be transporting something that strictly deals with husbandry from your farm to your farm. So if I work for the neighbor down the road, I can't take mine down there because that's not my farm, that's transportation at that point. So all of the rules kind of changed, and that's where we got started. That's why a lot of the townships that we did, like Millville, Wyalusing, I can't remember, anyway, they opened all their roads.
Patch Grove.
Patch Grove. They opened all their roads, so it would make it legal for all of their farmers, let's say, to work with the neighbor, and I can jump in my machine and run down there.
One farmer can go to the neighbor's farm legally. Technically, it's
Right.
not my law, but technically now you're not supposed to do
Right.
that.
And that's what changed, so that's why we started it. Because it got to the point where legally, and I'm not a farmer, I live in Mount Hope, so legally I couldn't take mine out of my driveway and go anywhere without loading it on my trailer. Once 2012, July hit, and they broke those rules, because there were no rules before. Like I said, it was kind of a gray. The UTVs weren't included in anything, so.
We will find out from Dennis and the county board what the consideration would be. And as far as ours, we've got,
We got the roads for the county.
right, that's what I'm saying, so somehow they still gotta come, they're gonna have to go through the state or something, get across that bridge, or they can jump 18, but they still have to be able to talk to the DOT. So,
It's not for me to say, but I would, if you guys are interested, before I went to the state, I think I'd approve what I could approve before, but that, like I say, that's not for me to say. Because they'll ask you, well, are you gonna let them ride in the town? If I give you the bridge, well, we don't even have it approved yet in the township. I don't know that that'll happen, but I assume that could happen very easily.
I know in Grant County, any townships that did not have an ordinance and approve it, if I asked for a county road that went there, they would deny that county road use because that township did not have an ordinance. So basically, we had to get our township ordinances, our village ordinances, before we went to the county, or they wouldn't even look at it. So I'm assuming the state's the same way. If you guys don't want anybody to ride over here, they're not gonna let me ride mine across the bridge, because they're gonna say, they don't want you there, so don't go.
Right. So you're looking just to get to the port? and that's kind of the end of the line.
Well, that's up to you guys. You guys.
Or you're gonna say-
No. I didn't say that but if you guys wanna ride, you couldn't legally come from your place to the port if you don't open the road.
Right.
You know, I ain't saying that I'm gonna come over and invade your township. I mean, it would be, it's open, once it's approved, it's open to me or to you. You can come over and ride our roads. That's not but that's up to you guys.
And we are trying to keep this all based locally, so we try to support any business that we can get to via the route. So, like I said, the port would be probably one of our very few places we could get to get gas, if we could come across. It would be nice if we could get to Prairie Machine and go shopping, or get to Eric's because he has the supplies for the machine I'm riding down at Prairie Motorsports. I mean, stuff like that. And that's, that's all debatable. Right now, I guess I just came because Dave said, let's go and see if we can get across the bridge. So what you do with your township is entirely up to you guys. I know that if you don't approve it, the state's never going to let me come across the bridge, because then I'll be in your township and they're going to say, no, you can't do that. So.
They might not anyway. You don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know if with more clout that it'll do any good or not. I don't know. I know they've let snowmobiles run in some peculiar places.
Yeah.
And I know like Captain's Cove down here at the other side of the bridge is one of our sponsors. And so I'll just put it out here, if any of you guys want to ride, if you want a trailer to them, I'm sure they'll let you unload there, and you could ride our routes anytime. I think Dave can get you maps. Or
Come up to my place if you want to ever ride a route, unload right at my house. I don't, but
so,
we can ride Camel Ridge, Barker Hollow. I mean, it's really kind of fun. Just if you and your wife want to go, or a couple machines. In the evening, hell, I'd jump on and go for an hour ride and don't go anywhere. Just go 4 or 5 miles, turn around and come back, But
Yeah, really no problem with it. I mean, there's.
I see no problem with
No.
it. Down the roads, but
No, but
But we think we're still gonna, go with getting,
right.
talk to the DOT and see what.
If we're gonna do it, we gotta get an
then we've
ordinance
got to
drawn
get
up.
an ordinance drawn up, right?
Yeah.
Something similar to that.
Get Todd to get an ordinance, I'm sure he's got it.
And we really don't have a problem with it, Dave, or whatever, we just want to make sure we have an ordinance with it, figure out what we've got to do with it to make it accessible, because like I said, snowmobiles, you got everything else riding on them. You got the Amish and their little buggies and stuff, and they're worse than you guys are ever going to be.
County came and they approved that.
So they would have
The Ambrose, the Prairie Township approved the Ambrose there. Danny would have them out.
I know we worked on our signage with Marty Stone through the DNR, because right now, because we're considered part of the ATV laws, the DNR is what governs what we do. The sheriff's department approves, through the county, approves the roads. So either or is like your law, your governing body. But because they're considered like ATVs, the DNR has final say, and they tell you where to sign and how to sign and what to sign. If the county gave you, or somebody gave you that road, then they'll tell you what to put up for signs. Now, we have almost $3,000 out in signs as a club right now to do our basic 70 miles of road. So,
We got, 25 miles we got for roads.
Right.
Some of them short roads, like Pine and Vet, we wouldn't even,
Yeah.
you just went like 60 and old 18.
Right.
In and
Let's
out.
keep.
The only technicality, it sounds stupid to say, but even if it's only a half-mile road, technically that guy that lives on it can't jump on his machine and come out if it's not signed. That's what they told us.
Yeah, but they'd have to ride on the old 60 and stay.
Yeah, if you got the shoulder approved or
Yeah.
something. Like Munz's Lane back there going to Badger Camp. gunner renter lives back there, but he said, well, you don't need to sign it for me, but if he wants to ride out to catch Camel Ridge, technically he's illegal, cause it ain't signed.
That makes sense.
Right.
I mean, it sounds stupid, Danny White run into that down in Mount Hope, he lived off and he wanted it, but technically he'd had to load his machine and,
The signings in?
you know, on a little short road and bring it up to the other, you know, so they put a sign up, so.
So Dave, even if we brought you over in here, you do the signage over here too? Your club would take care of the signage over here?
Well, probably not, I would help, but,
Okay.
you know, help, like, put
So
them
that's
up,
what we
but
have
as far as,
right now.
you know, I don't know whether you guys should start a club or how you'd wanna do it.
Coming
We committed, there was 4 of us,
Right,
we
right.
committed ourselves that we'd pay for them ourselves if we couldn't get nobody else to do it.
Right.
And we started a club and raised enough money, and we got a few sponsors, you know. We had some
Right now, we come.
guys that give us $100 or $200,
Sure.
So we're kind of.
cause they were excited
we're
about
trying,
it
that's
too.
what we're working on now.
We started the $30 a year membership the first year, and $50 for a 2-year.
See, I didn't go that far.
And after 2 years, we'll probably go to like $20, but we had to have some money to go.
Catch
Right.
up with, because
Okay.
Glen Haven just opened
The,
up
the,
Rock School Road.
Grant County actually made, I think you guys, Crawford County's got a sign making deal.
And then our
They made our
next step from
signs
there
for
will be
us,
if they
the
approve that.
Highway Department made our sign.
Because they just opened very
Yeah.
few of their roads. We'll come down and catch to B over
Okay.
to Y, from Y to north. So we're trying to get as many businesses, these right now are our sponsors, right in here. We have approximately 45 members right now. You guys can have that if you want, just as an example.
Where you guys getting big groups?
No, we have not yet. We have not done an organized ride as a
That might
club
be something.
yet, because we just got the signs up this summer.
Is there a way we can find out what interested to be over
I don't
here?
know if we will ever do them, if we won't ever do them. Right
They're
now,
interested in
we
What
just
about the
decided
interest?
and people ride.
What about the interest here in
You know, I might
Bridgeport?
follow another 2 or 3
Honest,
people.
guys.
There is.
Is
Or
there?
we'll go by ourselves.
That's the biggest thing we're after, is to find out whether it's gonna cross the
I wanna go to my
bridge.
neighbor's house, I can't even cross the road.
Yeah.
Every time I do it, I break the law.
Yeah, oh yeah, I understand that.
I think we can get a couple and get some money.
And I guess that's what we're looking at, to see if there was
Not
a way
that
to
we
be
wanna
able
ride
to.
on the roads all the time. I can't even cross.
If you do a club, you protect yourself. So we started our club, we
That's what we're after, to find out if there is interest within the
non-profit,
township, and maybe
non-stock.
work for
You
it.
can probably check
Just like
into it,
yellow.
you can probably set your
Only
speed limit, if you don't want to go down the road at 50 miles an hour, probably set it at 25, whereas your township speed limit, you cannot exceed 25.
So
So
that's
you
why
don't have to worry about
we-
people that are aggressive neighbors also.
And then as a
Yeah.
club.
Oh, yeah.
People
Yeah.
go faster than a vehicle,
Like, you get up north and you're like, the county roads will be marked for ATV, UTV trails, say there's a campground there, ATVs are 10 miles an hour. Others,
Sure.
still
Sure.
posted at
That's,
35
like I
or
said,
40.
that's why we did a club mostly to protect.
I guess that's what we're looking at,
And then
see
your
if there
club
would be
is
enough
basically
interest in it to be able to say, okay, that's cool.
And it's a limited club,
That's
so
how-
nobody can, if somebody's driving on the roads, you guys are, nobody can come back
We
and
never
sue
did
you.
cars back and forth. Your club is insuring all the
Our club is ensuring anybody who is a club member
Yeah.
to not be sued by a rider on that road. And it also protects them, the township. You have to have your own insurance to run. It protects the
How many do you
township
think
too, though. If
you'd
they're
have,
signed
guys?
appropriately
How many?
Yeah,
and
In
somebody
the town, in this
has an
township?
accident.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
And
can find a
it's
few.
really, DNR will go back here and it's so hard for that township to unless they were negligent,
There was a
didn't
lot
fill a
of,
big
you know,
hole.
fiscal
Anything, just like
Oh,
you
good.
know,
We
what
could get,
have
you know,
here.
combined
So it
with
doesn't
data
have
over
to
there.
back here,
We could probably
yeah,
get
anything
100
different than
people.
that.
You know, really.
Good, good.
It's a,
Mhm.
They're handy.
See, that's a police.
Oh, yeah, you're on it.
Right.
Difference is
You know, you're gonna have to deal with it.
I'd seen that on the internet.
What, Donnie?
You're gonna have to deal with it. I mean, UTVs, ATVs are here.
Oh, definitely.
What they-
And they aren't, people aren't gonna keep them on their own property. They're gonna use public
Right?
Basically.
So if you're gonna have to do that, then put the rules down, regulate them, and then you're in charge.
They can't run one thing in the five.
If they need to make a sticker up for the Bridgeport Township,
That's fine.
signs, you pay $10 a year for your
Right.
AdWords, you sticker it.
I got no problem.
We take care of the.
That's the way to pay for the sign.
Their signage.
Right.
Make it the
Other than that, you know, we'll check into an ordinance on it, be able to give you an idea, then I don't see a problem with it, but we wanna make sure we're covered through our lawyer, make sure it all goes the way it should go, but other than that, I don't have any problem with it.
No.
You know,
As long as we're protected, I guess.
yeah, their own
Done.
insurance is just like a vehicle that they own, so they have to have their own insurance, personal injury and everything, so.
You're producing an insurance card just like a vehicle if they ask.
Right, right,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Well, we'll have it on the agenda next month and get an ordinance.
Let you know then.
Look it over.
Review that with Denny and
See what's going on with it.
Yep.
Yeah, get an ordinance here. Is that all right then, guys? That's what we'll do, we'll have some idea for you next month in our next meeting, what's going on. All right, what's next?
Anybody got any more on that, or?
I have one thing, Todd.
Yeah.
If you have a contact in the state DOT, or if you get one, that you're gonna ask about this 18 year, could you get his name to myself or to Dave and he'll give it to me?
Yep.
And then we can contact the same person.
Sure.
So we're not, so at least that person knows that both sides of the river want it.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
Certainly, you bet, thank you.
definitely do that. Vinegar Court Financial Assurance, we heard of it.
Yes, yes, yes. Questions for you guys? It's handled
Lots of
through
stick.
Central State Bank, financial assurances.
Thanks, guys.
I requested from Central State Bank a irrevocable letter of credit as the financial assurance, recognizing Prairie Sand and Gravel's reclamation permit for Benneker Quarry. Heard back from Robert Frieden, the gentleman at the bank handling it. We just need to provide him with the dollar amount and the time period that the irrevocable letter of credit would be for.
Okay.
John, I got a question. What's different about this now than what it has been in the last 10 years?
I don't think anything.
Nothing
How
other
come
than
this has come up? I don't understand. Explain
the
it to me.
township now has the non-metallic mining ordinance.
Okay.
And since we now have that ordinance, the county no longer covers it, the township can. So
Okay.
it's just transferring it to.
So it was under the county, now it's going under the township, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yes. So
Okay.
the letter of credit needs to come to the township rather than the county.
So that means that at the time of the closing of the quarry, that there's money there to close it, is that what we're saying?
That's what it is.
Or held in, what, escrow or how?
If something should happen and Pattison Sand should,
No, not Pattison.
no.
not
this
Pattison,
is
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Linda.
Prairie
I'm
Sand.
sorry.
Right.
Prairie Sand and Gravel
Yeah.
were to say, we're no longer going to do it, and you said, fine, I'm not either, then the
Okay.
town would be responsible for reclaiming it.
Okay, and so that money would be there to
So,
redo it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what it's for.
If Prairie Sand and Gravel just went ahead and reclaimed it, then,
There's not a problem?
yeah, there's no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely no
So
problem.
the question was, what?
He said to forward a letter, I emailed him one quick, that he needs to have in it a request for the dollar amount and the time period that the irrevocable letter of credit should be for.
Wasn't there a question, Linda, about the acreage? Weren't they off by an acre?
Yeah,
More than
I think it was more than.
Was it more than that?
Yeah, yeah.
Were you talking roughly a 5 acre or something, 6, 8 acres or something?
It was, the reclamation plan they had was for like 3 acres,
3
it's about 5 acres.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's up to 5 now.
I think Kyle was supposed to have, him and, what's his name, was gonna get together as to the cost of the reclamation.
Yep.
Did he ever give you anything? Cause he jumped me and wanted to know if Linda got a hold of him.
Yeah, no.
He had to do this, so he was gonna get it, only use it and see how much it would cost to
Right.
do
Right.
5-6 acres or.
Would that be similar to the way the bond is already set up for the other? Right?
Yep.
I mean, they're talking if that's a 5 acre
Same
site
thing.
that's open, it'd be roughly the same dollar amount.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Per acreage.
And that was $160,000
So we don't know until,
or something like that.
we don't know until Kyle gets back to us with the bond or the land
Cost,
agreement.
yeah.
Should be.
So, you know, dollar amount. What about time period for the letter of credit? I guess,
The life of mine, I mean, the life of the
Till it
quarry,
closes.
right?
Till it
Until it
closes.
closes, either through neglect or they don't want it, not running it as is, and it has to be closed or whatever until that point in time, or
Right.
until they're not using it
Until
anymore.
it's already reclaimed.
Right.
Right.
So, I don't know where you put that in time frame for it then.
What is the life of that mine?
That's what we're, what was the life
Well,
of mine figured out at? There was none, was there?
There really wasn't any,
No.
because they're, shooting rock now for gravel,
Right,
and they were taking sand out, for fill.
right,
So, I did a contract with Dillman for 5 years, renewed it for another 5. I'm in my 3rd renewal, 1 year, I think it is.
okay,
So we're into it now for 15,
15,
and we're nowhere near,
right.
Nowhere near the end of the.
no.
So basically, if we consider it as at the life of that mine and what they're gonna do with it, the quarry,
Right.
you know, and we keep that,
And they're coming in now, they thought that they could, mix it with, and make concrete out of it.
right,
That they said it's really hard. So maybe it'll go out faster. It's just the projects they get, and we're,
okay. So then we need that.
so I would consider it ongoing.
Trust.
I don't know if you have to have a time frame or,
he just said a time period that the irrevocable letter of credit needs to be.
well, I guess that whatever it is, you could reapply for it.
You just run it to the end of your term.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should connect it with,
Your lease.
with your lease.
Yeah. So I have another 4 years on it.
Okay,
And then
Then
when that
redo
comes
it.
up, we'll get a new letter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Hughes has got to give them a number on the
right,
dollar amount.
right, reclamation, yeah.
I will, back to Kyle and see, okay, this.
Yeah. Yeah. He knew that, he was just waiting until it got slow is what the deal was before, that he tried to say. But now we are. Awesome.
We done?
Yeah.
Thanks, Becky.
See you, Vicki.
See you guys.
The bills. We're down to that.
I don't want.
Anybody want to do that?
Take her easy on the way home.
Mike's ones were there.
There you
I
go,
got
picture
one
out there.
of those, no, yeah, see what they want to do this one. No, I already got it at home. I threw it in the garbage, so we got it.
No.
Yeah.
The county got Troy Creamers up there fixed and they finished Ward Road.
Did they then? Okay.
It looks good on Ward Road now,
Yeah.
real good.
You talked to Danny, ask him about that pond area going across for me. If they can plow and doze that out, clean that green space, what it'd be or whatever. It's about the half the flow what it is right now anyway.
It's a good question on the bill here, for the Crawford County. Now, is that part of that FEMA bill, where they pay 75% of that and so forth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
75, is this our part?
that's the total bill.
That's the
Total
total,
bill.
and then they reimburse us, yeah.
And that's not on
Yeah,
there?
the flood repair was 33,516. Bridge repair was 1,400, a culvert for 1,100, and then our normal monthly maintenance was 14,500. So
And then,
the majority of it was the flood repair.
I got a call last night from, what's her name, Tina Henrys? It's down by Ward Road.
Oh, yeah.
She was talking about some flooding issues that she got up in there, on a utility easement that we had up there. I haven't looked at it, I just got the call from last night.
We don't have a,
I haven't gotten home, definitely.
I called Frank Weeks, and Frank said there was never anything given to the town for drainage, a clean of drainage, trunk down through there. You know, that's all private land, we can't go in there.
So there is no utility easement?
It's up to the landowner to keep their ditch in there, so the water stays in the ditch instead of filled in over the years and it goes all over. They gotta get somebody in there.
Yeah, she was talking about it, yeah, it's just coming out of the banks and
Yeah,
comes down to them, but she was claiming that, yeah, there is an easement there.
Frank said, no, I'd like to see it, if there is.
There's no utilities, John.
You don't have any.
There's no utilities,
Not
but
by the township.
they're thinking that there's a easement there to clean the drainage ditch.
Oh, you think the
Greenway or
drainage,
something like that? or
Yeah,
something?
like a greenway, like
Yeah.
city's got, yeah.
See, I haven't looked at it.
Wow.
There's nothing there.
Phone call.
Because Frank said there's nothing there for stormwater. Not much we could do.
The chips, that's for seal coat? Seal coat.
Yeah.
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 And then the info law, that's the whole thing that's been going on for
A lot of that's the hospital.
Addison's and whatnot.
Most of this is the hospital.
Hospital?
Yeah, yeah. That's the ownership.
And that's still not new.
No, no.
Public Service Commission's got a rule on that. Who knows?
Yeah, like I said, they were unaware of a lot of things that we talked about when I
Yep.
talked to them on that meeting that they had over the phone.
Yep.
So the city was kind of giving them one side of it.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second that.
Motion made, second approve the bills, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
When I talked to him, I says, yeah, Larry Gates told us that, blah, 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 this way. He says, who's Larry Gates? He was one at the meeting saying that the PSC said that basically you own, they own. He said he didn't know it.
He didn't know?
Three of them. Three of them I was talking to.
There's no means of the, there you go.
City didn't disclose anything to them.
No, they thought that was the end of the line. Where it goes out there to the hospital was the end of that line. And, you know, you look in there, Nathan Plaza's in there, Walmart's in there, Angelina Estates and Vinegar Estates are in there. Oh, really? And then it says, going out 18, all the way from the bank, we take care of all that. Oh, really?
They're
Yeah.
back.
So,
And I told them about Industrial Boulevard, all our customers over there, you know, that's all city property and they're all our customers.
no.
They didn't know nothing about that either. Imagine that.
So, no. It is too.
I guess public input section. Got anything else?
I got a question as to what the plan is as far as widening the road or fixing like culvert area. It's really kind of a dangerous situation if anybody would get over on that gravel. It's so loose, they're gonna go for a tumble,
Down.
and there's a huge, huge hole washed at the end of the culvert. One
Where
big-
at?
In my lower land there, where that new
Oh, I
culvert
know.
was put in.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any plan to do something with it?
Well, yeah,
And what do I have to do if,
I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet. We're
Okay.
trying to get, the guy at Lacrosse, for Wisconsin damage. We can't collect FEMA money there, but we can get that Wisconsin storm water
Storm
damage.
damage.
Say 75% of it. That's a
Okay.
collector road, we can't get FEMA money on it. But we can get 75%. He's having a hard time getting the guy down here because he's busy.
okay, I just wondered whether anything was happening or,
But I think what
Leave
we're
you
gonna
go hang.
do is put a big ravine down through there and rock it,
Yeah, so
you
you
know,
can't.
rock it so it doesn't wash out.
You don't need to have it taken out the rest of it.
Clear down the fence line, clear frost, like they did over here on this side, right? They rocked that. It's a big rock that'll hold that, it'll wash out.
drawing. That's what I'd like to see.
Ooh.
I still
Oh,
there.
them
Flowers,
flowers
too.
That's exactly what, you know, a big.
Yeah, that's
like a
basically
canal.
what,
I
yeah.
think
that
that's the
flowers
only
like
way
that?
you're ever gonna hold it.
Yeah.
I'll plant the flowers.
Oh, okay.
I'd
Jeez.
really like a little bridge across there. I'll submit that.
One night, maybe one will float down that way someday.
Maybe that boat will.
No, that's basically
Oh.
the principle that John's talking.
Is that the scale?
No, it's not the scale, believe me. Thank you.
They were talking a tube, and I'm not in favor of a tube.
Yeah.
Not a two.
Not
Lyle
the
had suggested a tube, that'll never work.
200-foot tube is not good.
No, yeah, well, fell in, you know.
What would happen there, I think, is it would build up on the other side of the road and eventually wash the road out. Then you might get state
You need
aid.
it all.
Yeah, you gotta have a chance for it to see how.
You gotta let it go somewhere
Wide
if it's
enough
there.
and deep enough.
Yep.
With rock in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So until he gets them down here, why? We're sitting here.
We're in the line, right?
Yep, we're next to the line.
All right.
Now serving 36.
Because I think they got all the rest of the stuff
It
done.
sounds like my truck.
Oh, there is that
Still waiting.
cornford's there at the corner around Muskie. There's that tube down below that comes out of Welter's.
Yeah.
That whole overside, the one side is washed completely out. I stopped and looked at it. But there's a survey marker in there, there's a steel.
Steel?
Yeah, so I don't know, we gotta do something with that before we dump rock onto it.
Make sure of it.
Yeah, disturb that.
Uh-huh.
You know, there was a survey marker on mine too. The only person that I know of on the whole section there that's actually done a survey was when George Clark owned it. He was renting to Ross Strickland, and Ross wanted to buy the house and he didn't have enough money to do anything. And so we kind of told him we'd be interested in buying the hillside there and down in that pasture. And he had it surveyed. There was a survey marker there, I saw it. The only one I saw was the one that connected to our land there. I didn't walk on down and look at the other ones, but there was one there. And I think it's buried probably under the rock that came down and whatever.
Yeah,
But there was
Yeah.
a survey marker there.
we might have to get Rich Marks to resurvey that because I got a copy of the map from this Joel farm where Donnie owns. And there is a 19.32 foot.
Yeah, I don't know where that ever came
That
from.
Donnie owns on it.
You know, who decides that kind of crap? Because when we bought the land from Alfred Joel through Irons Realty, we were told it joined with Clark's.
No.
And our deed and abstract says so many feet, more or less. Well, let's give me a little more if it's there.
It's the legal
If it's less,
descriptions. I seen the legal, I got it in the vehicle, the legal description and everything.
I have a map when we bought it. There's no 19 foot in there.
Well,
Somebody decided out of the air, or God sent some message down or something, I don't know.
yours wouldn't show that because it's not your property, it's McGuire's property.
But there was only one line between me and Clark's.
Sheffer owns a big chunk down on that side of the road too. Because the road is 100 feet off of center where it's supposed to be. It's shifted up the hill to the left.
Really?
John, at one time that, there was Misra property, wasn't it on your property? Levon?
My deed in abstract says it goes to the center of Busky Road.
Well, I remember that.
Our deed in
and I don't know
abstract's
who
no good
owned it,
anymore?
but, the Misras gave up some property on their side of the road. Now, I don't know if it was at their place or if it was the people, Bedwards and who else, but they owned land, I know, on the opposite side,
Right,
on the other side of Highway, or the Busky.
the way the map shows that I've seen, so I don't know if
Yeah,
it's different. I don't
But all of that just came out of the clear blue. When we bought the land, it wasn't that way. Our land says, deed in abstract says it goes to the center of Busky Road, and I've seen these maps, I know what you're talking about.
know.
I don't know where they come from though, does somebody beam a beam down, or?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I know the buyers got that right away between the two properties. It's not 20 feet, but it's 19.3.
But when I bought it, it was joined some Clarks. Now, I didn't sell him anything and neither did Clarks, so where did he get it?
How long ago would it have been prior to this even?
That's when the Alfred Joel owned it. And he started selling lots off.
Oh, okay.
That's when it goes back, and when Donnie bought the Joel property, they gave him the map. Yeah.
Okay.
I
He's got
think
one
he
up
had
in
that
Bluebird,
survey
too.
done.
He's got a 30-foot up in Bluebird too across there.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that was years ago when that road was swaled.
Oh.
And access so you could get out of the road. Well, how are you gonna get out of the road now? You couldn't. So
Got it.
all it's good for is drainage.
Yeah.
The only place we can put it is like your man. That's the only place we can put it.
I personally asked him last fall, but I didn't get it in writing, if he had some claim to that land, and he said no, he didn't have any use for it, and he had no claims for it. He verbally told me that, but I don't have a witness. It was just me and him talking.
Yeah. Well, I don't care. I don't make no difference to me who owns it, but that's the only place we can put those.
That's where we're
Yeah, the ditch way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a ditch. It was a ditch when, when
After you put
both
those
Clarks and us
flowers in
moved
there,
there.
it's gonna look just great.
Yeah, we'll cover up and camouflage it.
Really good.
Waterfall.
I tried to get Checkler to put in a pond on the other side with a big water shooting up and colored lights on it.
There you go.
Keep working on it.
Gail's good at blue water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, a question on can you designate roads that would not be affected by the four-wheelers and UTVs?
Like, we could if we wanted to. We could regulate.
I guess the reason I'm saying this is, I don't have a problem with any of the neighbors or anybody in Bridgeport Township. I had a real big problem with snowmobiles at one time. People would come in, it was never the Club in Prairie,
Right.
you know, but people would come in, stay in a motel, and all of a sudden we'd have 20, 30 people out on the trails. And I had a neighbor who was just irate about snowmobiles. And they were the ones that were causing the problems. They wouldn't stay on the trails. They were all over the place.
Yeah.
And I just hate to have, I won't let snowmobiles back in the subdivision. And I'd hate to have four-wheelers running back in the subdivision. You know, I know it's a township road,
Yeah.
but
Really, it goes to no place, you know. Why would anybody want to ride it?
yeah, well,
At the end,
Well,
Just
they're
because
still saying, you don't allow
Mike,
people to own them, do you?
What?
Up there? Four-wheelers, ATVs?
oh, they own them, but they trailer them out.
Oh, okay, because
Yeah.
like, they were just saying that they can't drive them out of there legally.
Yeah, there's,
So-
Dylan's got everything back there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Brian, yeah, any toy you got, okay.
yeah, he's got multi, but,
yeah.
See, that was my only concern. curiosity whether that would hamper his idea of wanting to take off on one, but I would think he'd trailer, that
Right.
obviously if you got something in there saying, hey, you ain't gonna get on the road, you know, or whatever, you have to trail your vehicles out of here. I don't know. I guess we can look at it when we get.
Yeah.
You know, I know, yeah, if you get back in there and you're trapped back in there, but a person can have an awful lot of fun on all those empty lots.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're not supposed to get off the road.
Well, and I know that, John, but it's not the people in the township. I'm saying people come in for a weekend and don't give a damn and take off and leave.
Usually it's the same with the snowmobilers.
That's where I had the trouble with the snowmobiles.
I jumped a couple of them guys about that, and he said they're the ones that do their own policing of it now. The boys from the club themselves, they won't, now if they find out anything like that or know who it is, they go right after them.
Probably
So,
says we shouldn't be getting too rushed in on this idea anyhow, because, for example, if you were to designate, okay, I'm just picking a road, Old 60, and then, let's say you have this group rides one day down the road, and they're running, they can legally run till 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, how is that gonna affect anybody on the roads? I'm just picking for Old 18 or wherever, you know,
I guess
we gotta look at what the people want too.
Yeah, not
And
only
the
that, it's no
neighborhoods.
different than a car.
No, but there's
How do
not.
you stop a car from going at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from, you hear
Yeah,
30
right.
vehicles or four-wheelers coming through, I hear them, snowmobiles in the winter, that don't bother me,
Yeah.
you know, or four-wheelers, I mean, that stuff don't bother me.
Well,
But that's just me, I don't know what the next guy thinks, you know? So
Right.
we gotta weigh that out right the first time.
And I'm sure they're not gonna let, I shouldn't say that. I'd really be surprised if they let the four-wheelers and UTVs on a 4-lane. Which will be, in the future.
No.
And,
I see a hard time jumping the bridge.
Getting off the bridge.
You know, I mean, that ain't gonna be a 4-lane, and you start, you know, I see it when we're hauling machinery back and forth, and they don't slow down for nothing. They're
No, I agree with that.
behind you. Yeah, man, I was hauling machinery back earlier in the week. Man, they almost get head on head, you know, oncoming traffic, and then zoom just in, and it gets kind of chaotic, you know.
Yeah, look at that, the gentleman from the township that were here, said they'd like to start a club. Even if they can't get across that bridge, they still want something around here that gives them the chance to be able to drive on them. So I guess I'd look at it both ways, whether they can't get across the bridge, well, that tells you that Grant County's gotta stay where Grant County is.
Yep.
And over here, they're gonna be able to start something themselves, you know, so I don't know, Rod, like I said,
Maybe a business can haul their footwears over, I don't know.
you know, and they'd trail them if they want them, they take them up north, that's what they were talking about, you know,
Yeah.
they got both ATV and
There's
UTV.
state trails, I think, for
Oh,
ATVs.
Lord.
Alright,
They're
there's
everywhere.
Mile.
many.
Not across the bridge though.
No.
So something like that's gonna have to get, I think, carefully weighed out, you know, before we just say,
They
okay.
probably would with 4-lane, they wouldn't be letting them cross the highway anyway.
Well, unless there's an intersection like there
Yeah,
is here,
then they'd let them jump it, you know, across it, but other than that,
like a car.
because they do it at Culver's down there.
Yeah.
Right across there,
Yeah,
Culver's
control
with the
intersection.
snowmobile, you know, runs right across there, so.
But that's sort of over control.
but then would a this other ones, would that be
The
12
other
months out of the year?
No, right at
where
Culver's,
snowmobiles
I'm talking
are,
about in between,
Maybe 3?
Culver's this way. to-
Do they do that year round, John,
Street.
with the
It goes right across the west side. across,
ATVs and
Yep.
UTVs?
the gas station. No.
Yeah, the UTV.
But they won't go on they don't go on the
Before that
snowmobile
hotel.
trails.
No.
Right,
So
Snowmobilers
they
don't like
there,
that.
there, and
Yeah.
it goes
North they
right
do.
across
They
it.
let 'em run
I knew they did up north.
Yeah, that where's his lane?
Okay.
Right there.
Right there.
They do.
But now that they're
I thought it was part of the
licensed, registered, they got the money, so that's what they're after.
Mm-hmm.
They might soften up on that too, the state. Who knows?
But then once you have the trails here, or it's open, then anybody can come here. What's this, okay, we've got a club, but what good is a club if other people abuse it?
Well, that's what,
Well, they're talking about a hard surface. We've got 25
talking
miles of
roads,
hard
yeah.
surface. You can't go back up into unless you get somebody's permission to go up on their land.
they're talking about the members would enforce it, you know,
Right.
their club. They'd make damn sure that they,
Otherwise, they lose it.
yeah, they're gonna lose their rights to ride if they don't control it a little bit.
So then, this would not go on private property at all?
No.
Okay, so that's completely different than snowmobiles do, so,
Yeah,
Right.
I know a
This is
number of
just using the
people,
roads.
you know, they,
yeah.
they get upset with what's going on, and they just,
Mhm.
you know, not let them go on anymore.
Says, well, this is in Grant County, that the ATV, UTV may operate on paved roadway surfaces only.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
And it's got a whole, it's right in Grant County. You
Mhm.
can type it up or find it on Google.
Well, and I noticed it up there by the, Lakeview, Winnebago, you know, but that's in a small area, but there's golf carts, there's everything there.
Yeah,
They got a motor on every, you know, anything is legal up there.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier, is they could run till 1 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and after that, there's no more going by here. So
Yeah.
if they are using, well, old 18, old 60, or whatever it is, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're trying to get some snooze time, you know, that's more important than listening to that four-wheeler or whatever it is.
Especially if you gotta work the next morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You
was
gotta
just
work.
gonna
So, I
say,
mean,
people work all 3 shifts, so it doesn't matter what
Well,
time
that's
they're.
just it. My husband, he has to sleep during the day, so he puts up with whatever goes on.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you have to think about
Right,
the neighborhood.
that's what I'm getting into, you know.
Cause I know the snowmobiles, when they go by our house in front of Oswald's at night, you jump right up in bed, they're that loud, I'm not kidding.
Some of them are. 'Cause
They
go
are
right
that
down
loud, they
place,
come
too.
humming through there, you just about hit the ceiling when you hear them.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but they.
And
kick
that's
that
just
exhaust
it.
pipe right off.
And that's just it,
The lights will come right in my bedroom
yeah,
from the
Yeah.
snowmobile,
yeah.
and it's, okay, I'll go back to sleep. But how many times we're gonna have 100 people riding these things day after day after day, you know? If we have a hassle, we're gonna have to tell our club that, hey, you can't do this.
right.
I know when I was younger, I mean, this is,
50 years.
25 or whatever years ago, we used to do four-wheeler rides, or not three-wheeler rides. You know, we used to go, I mean, this is in the woods, we used to go all
Right,
over
right.
Crescent, you know?
Yeah.
And we used to get fairly big groups, and then if this could get kinda like that, I don't know.
How does the
This is
insurance
hard
work?
surface if you can get into a private property.
Do you have to have your own insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like a car or any other vehicle.
Yep.
They're protected kinda two ways, the way I understand. They got their own.
So if
insurance.
somebody came in from
Car insurance, yeah.
up north and wanted to come down here, go forward with it, whatever, they'd have to have,
Insurance.
Insurance.
An
insurance.
insurance card with them.
well, I guess it'd be just like a vehicle.
Yeah,
Right.
If you got insurance,
Yeah.
if you don't have insurance and don't get caught, you're fine.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So let's look into the, you know, and we'll go from there.
Well, he made a statement, too, that they, you know, they have to follow the speed.
Oh, yeah.
55. But in Grant County, they say, well, they have to, all it says is operate at speeds greater than 30 miles an hour. Well, if you're on a 55, it may be doing 34, 5, or whatever, you know, that can be a traffic issue all by itself.
Well, they were
Some
talking that they
slow
can't go lower than 25, 55, because the, well, this other one from here was saying that, Eric. Yeah. So, I mean, the restrictive area, we can even put at what they can go at, these
Yeah.
things. You know,
But-
it doesn't go four-wheel drive highway, you know, type.
But just
one.
think of it as, okay, you got, you know, I hate to say it, but as a farmer, you know, we're open along in these roads, you know, and sometimes that irritates the people too, just poke along. If you got a four-wheeler, you know, doing the same thing, you know, and I think at some point there could be traffic issues with that.
Well, like you said, you're
Well,
gonna
we
have
got
to
the
figure out.
Amish
which
and the
side of
farmers
it is. It's everything.
So how's this any different?
I think our little-
I mean, I like the
Yeah,
idea, but I mean,
like
I think we need
They're really
to.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the town road, it's not gonna be 18, 60, you know,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't
highways,
go on
it's not
any
gonna
of
be.
those.
Well, it won't be on any of those roads then, huh?
No,
Right.
So it'll be just on our township roads.
Township road.
that's all they can do.
Well then, John, how do you get from, how do you get to Ward Road? How do you get to Buskey?
Have to haul
Yep,
Well,
them, unless you live there.
unless you got a private.
unless the club could get a crossing on 18 like they did in
Right.
Grant County.
Yeah.
But it's, and I agree with you,
One place to
Linda,
another.
I could go directly across, but how do you get up the road?
Right. That's something they'd have to check into. It kind of sounded like in some cases they could use like the shoulders of the road if you got DOT approval,
Right.
like the snowmobiles do, I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, let them check into it.
Because they want a hard surface, they don't
Yeah.
want them going down in the ditch.
Well, I mean, if you don't have a grid service, man, you have dust like you want to leave.
If all we're giving is township roads, we're not giving nothing for the state or nobody. We got no county roads, we can't do that, we can't
No.
do state roads, because we don't own them.
Don't want 'em.
So they gotta get approval for more than just crossing the bridge, they gotta get to
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah.
something
They're
else.
just asking the township for the
Right.
town roads, that's all.
Yeah.
They're not asking for the world. That's up to them to figure out how they're
Now
gonna
they're
get the
gonna
rest
get
of
from
it.
place to place, yeah.
Don't they have enough roads over there, is that the problem, or?
The
They
map.
got another club here though, a bunch of guys came from Wyalusing, Township here, you know,
From
some of the guys here at Bridgeport that we're looking into
They,
doing it.
they got a map, I mean, they are all, Millville, Wyalusing,
They've
Mount
got a lot of
Hope,
townships.
they're all over, you know, on,
70 miles, that's a lot of miles.
yeah. And their hope is to one day get down as far as Glen Haven.
Yeah.
North
Picture it.
Andover, she was-
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because they can get into Bagley, so if they can get into Bagley, they even that old dirt road that's in back,
Yep.
that ugly looking thing.
yep,
Yeah.
so. Good. 10-4. Anybody else?
Me,
I don't have nothing to be different.
make a motion to adjourn.
Got it.
Second.
Motion made, the second adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.